Springtime is here, and that means soon summer tours will be ramping up. To make sure you stay safe and have fun on the road, here are my top 7 tips on how to do exactly that on your summer tour. Hi everyone, my name is James, and this is the Better Band Bureau. The first tip is that when you're putting together the routing for your tour, you should always leave a little extra time between shows or on drives to get from point A to point B. I would typically factor in 1 extra hour for every 5 hours of driving, with a minimum of 1 hour even if your drive is shorter than 5 hours. This is good for any stops like gas, food, bathrooms, or even some minor inconveniences like a flat tire, so you can put the spare on the vehicle and keep going. It means that you don't have to push your speed to get to the venue, and that way you can be safer on the road. My second tip is to have the vehicle checked out at least 2 weeks before the tour starts, preferably a whole month before it starts, just to make sure that there aren't going to be any unexpected surprises on the road or right before you leave. This way, if there's some minor issues, you can address them, or if there's something major wrong with your van or car, you can find an alternate means of transportation to do your tour. One thing that you really want to check out if you don't use the vehicle often, for example, if you only use it for touring, have the tires checked for dry rot, which basically, when a vehicle sits and doesn't ever drive, the tires can rot out and then blow out on the road, which is not something you want. It's not pleasant, especially if it's fully loaded or if you're towing a trailer. You don't want to get into that. My third tip is create a stage plot and input list to give to the venues, production managers, or sound engineers you're working with. You can use a program like Stage Plot Pro or just hand draw it yourself. I always advocate for sending it in advance. Ask the person you're booking the show with who to send it to, and either they'll say send it to me and I'll pass it on, or they'll tell you who to send it to. I would also suggest having a few paper copies in advance to give away, but also have at least 2 copies that are printed and laminated that you can use every night. This way you don't have to spend money on several dozen copies. You just say to the sound guy, here's my stage plot, I need it back at the end of the night so I can use it again tomorrow. If you want a paper copy that you can keep, we have those as well. Just let me know if you need one. A stage plot and an input list make production a lot easier because it sets the expectations that your band has of the venue, and they know what to expect of you. So make sure it's also up to date, because if it's out of date and it's changed, then what's the point of even sending it? Tip number 4. Now this one is a little bit of a bummer because it's about all your gear getting stolen. Make sure that you have a gear manifest with information about every single piece of gear you have on the road. Include a name and description of each item, including the manufacturer's name, the model number, and the serial number if it has one. It's terrible to think about what could happen, but it's better to be safe than sorry and be prepared in advance. Using a Google document is great because then you can put all of this in the cloud, and even if your laptop gets stolen too, you'll still have the data online to show to the police when you file a police report. Tip number 5. This one is actually something that I think everyone should do, and maybe I should have made it tip number 1, but it's have a driving schedule. And it doesn't mean you have to say, okay, on Monday, you're going to drive from 10:20 to 3:40. No, nothing like that. But have it laid out in a way, for example, okay, the bass player does the first 2 hours of driving, the singer does the next 2 hours of driving, and the guitarist does the 2 hours after that. This way, everybody has an expectation of when they're expected to drive. And obviously, if the drives are a bit shorter or longer, you might have to change how long the person has to drive for. But keeping it in order of 1, 2, 3 will let people know, okay, I have to drive first tomorrow, and he's going to drive after me. And then after that, somebody else will take over. This way, it's just setting up those expectations so people can mentally prepare themselves for the drive and also make sure that they're able to drive because they'll know they have to be responsible. Tip number 6, stock up on healthy snacks as well as water before long drives. Some ideas are nuts, bananas, trail mix, and things like that. You want to stay away from super salty foods like chips because they will make you dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, you drink more water and you might have to stop more frequently. Last but not least, tip number 7, plan some fun activities for days off in advance. I've been on some tours where every single day off was literally just a driving day, and we would drive for 10 to 12 hours straight and stop for food and gas in between, but we wouldn't get to do anything fun. It was not my definition of a day off. A day off should actually be a day off. You might drive for a couple hours, but nothing more than 4, maybe 5 hours tops for a day off. I've also been on tours with great activities. Things like visiting beautiful landmarks, camping on Lake Shasta, or even jet boating on rivers in Oregon. One of my favorite off days ever, actually, was in Mansfield, Massachusetts, where I got to take a bunch of people from my team into the city of Boston, where I was in college, and give them a tour of the city and show them some of the best restaurants that I enjoyed when I was in college. So that was really fun. And we had planned that a few days in advance. We knew we were going to be in Mansfield on our day off, so I said, hey, let's go do this. And we figured out the train schedule and what we'd have to do to get there, and we made it happen. Now, if you have full control and you're planning your tour, you can even maybe go a little out of the way. So let's say you're playing a show in Flagstaff and then you have a day off before heading up LA. You could use that day to drive an hour north to the Grand Canyon before you head on over to LA. If you haven't seen the Grand Canyon, that's a really good option. These are just a few different examples of what you can do, and I definitely encourage you to tailor it to what you want to do. What I enjoy doing on days off might be totally different from what you would enjoy doing. Maybe you just want to go to the gym. That's great. Find somewhere that has a gym that you can enjoy. There's lots of different options. Find something that works for you. So, to recap, tip number 1 is plan extra time. Tip number 2 is get your wheels checked. Tip number 3 is have a stage plot and input list. Number 4, create a gear manifest in case your stuff gets stolen. Tip number 5, schedule your drivers. Tip number 6, stock up on healthy snacks and water before long drives. And last but not least, tip number 7, plan fun activities for days off in advance. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. I still have my free coaching offer going, so if you sign up for my email list using the link in the description, you will get a free 30-minute coaching session. So I definitely encourage you to check that out if you want to discuss the future of your band and maybe get some ideas on what you can do to grow your band into a proper business. Thanks again, everyone. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you next week.